So I met with him, and this is what was interesting, how he got me, because Manuel, like I said, he was a very educated man. He was a businessman, you know. So the first thing he asked me, he said, look, I want to open a banana import company, and I need you to do a feasibility study for me. Had he come in there and said, look, here's $30,000, build me a banana company, then I'm like, nah, shit, something's wrong with this. But, you know, you do a feasibility study, and that's how a business is supposed to do, right?
Right.
So I did the feasibility study, and they could make a lot of money. Little did I know that what they wanted to do with the bananas was just bring drugs, right? So this group, so I said, look, I don't work for anybody. For me to abandon, because, well, we want you to be the president. I said, look, for me to abandon my accounting practice, I got to get paid $6,000, $7,000 a month, and I got to be equal partners, because I'm not going to put up my name in and sacrifice my whole career for a business that you guys might walk away one day.
Right.
And they're like, fine. So here I'm 20 years old. I'm partners with these guys in this banana company called KISS. So we went out. I went all over Europe to find this boat that to bring the bananas from Colombia. And ended up finding one in Sacramento, California.
You had no clue.
No freaking clue, man, at all. I'm like, okay, you know what? They deal drugs, but they're big, legitimate business. They have a lot of stuff going on. So as long as I don't do anything wrong, there was no money laundering laws, none of that. Cocaine was not in the DA radar, so it was not like a big deal. The whole thing with drugs was heroin and marijuana at that time. So he's like, so we find the ship, we buy it, and we're going to convert it to refrigeration. So I go out there to oversee the whole conversion for about 3 months. And while I'm out there, the guy that's doing the refrigeration, a younger guy, a couple of years older than me, and I used to play baseball a lot. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. And he had a softball team. And I'm there by myself in Stockton, California, right? Living in the ship, right?
Yeah.
So, and the guy's name was Mel. So he's like, I go over to his house, and we had barbecue. And then, you know, I joined his team. And then he kept kidding me. He said, you know, that boat is ready to bring in cocaine. I'm like, Mel, you're full of shit, man. You think I'm going to put my name on a boat that's going to bring in drugs? You're crazy. No, man, it is. You need to hook me up. And I'm laughing at him, right? But bugging the hell out of me.
Yeah.
During this period, this group started saying to me, after I set everything up and we had everything just going perfect, we had the box, we had the ship registered in Grand Cayman. I mean, everything was perfectly organized. We had offices, we had warehouses, distribution, everything. They're like, you know, you can make so much money. Oh, because I went and I said to him, you know, the guy that's doing the refrigeration keeps bugging me, telling me that this is a cocaine boat. And I'm like, I thought he was an idiot. How the hell am I going to put my name out there?
Right.
Didn't say nothing at that time. But later on, they start saying, you know, you can make a lot of money representing us in the United States. And I'm like, what do you mean representing? He says, I do. I said, I'm partners with you in this shipping company. And they're like, no, in all of our businesses. Now I knew that we're talking about the drugs, right?
Right.
So I'm like, look, I'm not interested, man. You know,
yeah.
I just want to get this going. It's a great business. We're going to make a lot of money. And we were going to make a lot of money, right? Because they grew their own bananas. But they kept at it. And one day, I got this genius idea. And I'm like, okay, I know how to get rid of Mel. I'm going to try to find out what cocaine goes for in Miami. At that time, it was going for 42 to 44. And I'm going to give him a crazy price. And then he's just going to leave me alone. I said, next time when he come and ask me, I'm going to say, look, we are, man. We're drug dealers, Mel. But, you know, you want to buy something? It's $72,000 a kilo. I'm like, almost double. Yeah. And he's like, oh, man, that's high. I said, yeah, I know. It's coming. It's right off the tree. I didn't even know it comes off the tree or where the hell it comes from. I couldn't tell cocaine from freaking cotton, you know, from sugar.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man. Well, I'll talk to my partners. I said, yeah, you do that. I'm like, went to bed, happy. Next day I leave for Colombia, and I'm like, why don't I do the same thing with the Colombians? Why don't I tell them, I'll handle everything for you, but I gotta be equal partners, and I ain't got no money to put up. You guys got to put up. Now, at that time, you buy a kilo of cocaine for $22,000, right? So they're bringing in 300 kilos, right? 200 kilos when we started, which was $4.4 million. It was 4 of them. I said, I'll be the 5th. So you figure 5 people divided by 4.4, it's about $810,000 a piece. What the hell? I get $800,000. I didn't even know that much money exists in the world. So he's like, so I said, that's what I'm going to tell him. I said, and I'm going to say, look, I'll handle all operation. I'm equal partners, and you got to put out my money because I don't got no money. And I was convinced they were going to take this nerd kid and turn him around and kick his ass all the way back to California without an airplane, you know?
Right.
So sure enough, the minute he opened his mouth, I said, look, I've been thinking about it, Manuel, and I'll do it. But this is the deal. And he's like, I got to talk to my partner. I said, yeah, you need to do that because it's a big decision. And I went to my hotel, and I was happy. I knew that that was over with. Next morning, they picked me up to take me to the airport, and the chauffeur says, Manuel wants to see his office. And I thought we had to go over some books or something. And I get it, him and the other three partners are sitting there, very stoic looking, you know, like a wall. I'm like, oh, shit, I really screwed up. They're going to kill me. They're going to think I know too much. You know, all this shit starts going through your head, you know. And he looks at me and he says, we'll do it. We'll front you, but we'll keep your profits so that you have your own money to invest. And I'm like, you guys really need to think about this. I never seen drugs in my life. No, but you're pretty sharp. You can handle it. I can't tell the difference between cocaine and nothing. I said, are you crazy? Are you guys sure? You want to put a 20-year-old kid in charge of this? And they're like, yeah, we're sure. And within 6 months, we were importing 600 kilos. I was making between $1 million, $3 million a month. And I set up the entire organization, pilots, distribution, how do we get the money, created all the foreign bank accounts in Switzerland, Grand Cayman, Liechtenstein, Tortola.
How many partners?
It was 4 of them and me. I was the 5th. That group was, if you want to call any group the Medellin Drug Cartel, that would have been the group that became the Medellin Drug Cartel because it was the only group at that time. There was other people bringing 2 kilos, 3 kilos, but a concerted group that was bringing, by the time 1979, we're bringing 800 kilos a month to 1,000. No one, when no one even knew, when you saw that guy saying, well, I was selling 1 or 2 kilos, you know. And so in 79, at this time, Sal Magluta, who was my closest friend,
right,
says to me, hey, the government of Bolivia wants to make a deal with you. And so we went and we met with this captain of the Bolivian Air Force, and they're like, look, we can sell you all you want at $10,000 a kilo, and for every kilo you buy, I'll give you another one on credit. And I'm like, we're doing numbers, and I'm like, we're going to make $7 million a month. And so I went to my godfather, Manuel, and he's like, no, you're crazy.
The Bolivian government?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Bolivian government.
How did that happen?
Oh, everybody knows. They were like, you saw the movie Scarface?
Yeah.
The guy that comes to kill Tony Montana?
Right.
A guy named Roberto Suarez?
Yeah.
That was our partner.
The guy with the shotgun?
Yeah. He didn't come to us. That guy was so big. That was our partner. He overthrew 5 governments, you know. Very, very powerful.
Wow.
The government of Bolivia during that period of time was run by the drug industry.
Okay.
And so I go to my godfather, he's like, no, forget about it. There's no way. You know, you run everything for us. If something happens, what's going to happen to the organization? I said, nothing's going to happen to me. Don't worry about it. And I flew to Bolivia, and we made the deal. And when we are going, and to get the story in greater, like, juicy detail, then you got to buy my book. Because, you know, if you don't buy the book, I can't tell you the whole story.
Yep, of course.
But like I say, in Coming Clean.
Cliff Notes.
Yeah, Cliff Notes. I'm giving you the Cliff Notes.
Yep.
So I fly to Colombia, and I'm going to show the strip to the pilots where the plane's going to come from Bolivia, refuel in Colombia, then go to Nicaragua. I was going to wait for it in Nicaragua because I had a meeting with Somoza, the general of Nicaragua, because we were going to start bringing in cocaine in his refrigerated government fishing boats, or refrigerated boats.
Okay.
And so I call Bolivia to tell them that, okay, the plane will be there tomorrow. And my partner there says, you need to come here. They screwed you. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, the only cocaine that's here is what you paid for, which was like 130 kilos. And they're like, none on credit. And I went down there, and, you know, I threatened them that I was going to kill them, and they looked at me like, are you crazy? You are the craziest person in the world, or you got the biggest set of balls we ever met.
Yeah.
But you said that again, we'll kill you. And I'm like, I'm 23 years old. I'm just a kid.
Yeah. And
look like a kid. I didn't even look intimidating. So I get on the airplane because I had to be in Nicaragua, and there was no way to catch a plane from Bolivia to Nicaragua. You know, back then there would be a flight once a week, twice a week. So I'll get on the airplane, go back to Colombia, not a problem. And then from there, I'll keep on the airplane to Nicaragua. One day they landed there and refuel. Then Somoza was going to send me in a jet to go pick up my ex-wife in the Dominican Republic because I was going to Europe to pick out this brand new Mercedes convertible I had bought. And we're going to spend a month in Europe. So land in Colombia, perfect. Everything went like clockwork. Then we leave for Nicaragua the next day, and the first alternator goes out.